that second bomb site is going to be that option 2 or that option 1 that was at the top in the kids' room and that bedroom out on the top floor. You typically won't see that kitchen and dining room chosen, and you typically won't see the red tower chosen, just for the fact that it's very closed. It's very closed, very tight fighting you'll have to have, but it's also seems to be more attacker friendly than the other two bomb sites here.
So, as they begin to set it all down, we do see that Mute who's coming back in with a vengeance now here in this basement, because hey ho, you can now block that trapdoor even easier. We're planting jammers on the table. And we've also got a Capcom brought into the mix, which we saw earlier on without really seeing any kind of impact. But here is a change of pace, because we did see quite a few Capcom kills in the past.
Yeah, especially last week there was that one round where all 3 traps killed individuals. 3K for Capcom there, not even having to do anything other than place his traps down. But on the attack side, we do have a Thatcher. So without proper placement and without proper timing, those Mute Jammers are only going to last so long. And that Thatcher device, that EMP, will take those out pretty easily.
As the attackers are coming on in, Animal is still upstairs at the moment, putting down the last couple of jammers. But he has himself a Jaeger here to help out.
And so we saw the Capcom traps on either of those front doors into Meeting Hall. And that's so Bosco can try to bait the attackers in here. He's gonna lay a couple ghost fires, a couple quick shots down onto Capital, who we potentially saw inside of the garage. Not quite sure he saw him though. And then he's gonna back out. Hopefully Capital will run after him is what he's thinking, and he'll die by one of the Capcom traps on the doorway there. So 3-sup is most likely, Jay's gonna spot those Capcom traps potentially, and it looks like Hope's got a couple bullets into the feet there as he tried to peek through the ventilation, the drone vent there. And I believe Ash took quite a bit of hit, down to about 10 or 15 health. And Jay took his second drone, just finishing droning Meeting Hall for his team.
Yeah, sees the Ash from pre-firing her, and then the drone kind of crawled on in front of his fire already. He goes and jumps off the roof to get reset by Beastly. Get back up to that 50 health nice and aggressively. Jaeger taken out by a big fast push in through the classroom from Digital. That's why he was that MVP. That's why he got given the player to watch spot by his squad. Ash, while still being low, can now go back to being a little bit more defensive. Animal has made his way back downstairs and joined the team in the basement, repositioning some of his jammers now to slightly different spots. But if he was going to actually try and replace that one underneath the trapdoor, but with that explosion you hear, it will be opened up.
Yeah, we do see all of the back doors here reinforced or barricaded so that if the attackers try to push from back there, we're going to hear a little bit of noise, hopefully alert the defensive team that, hey, turn around, there's going to be a flank. But for the time being, we just have Animal back here, just taking a look, keeping an eye out for things as the rest of his team is faced towards the entrance where the onslaught's going to happen.
So down the front stairs comes Beastly in this Thermite first. He's been spotting all the cameras. They've got C4 ready and waiting for him. Grenades from his team will come down to help take out the barbed wire and actually get Jaeger right at the end of it.
Rolled right into that Jaeger device line of sight. So they're going to have to use that Ash device. Does get the rest of the barbed wire down. 30 seconds left. A 4-on-4 with easily taking down Hopes. And Thermite's going to go in for the plant underneath of that laundry machine. Now hopefully he can get it off. Typically what we've seen here is a rush, just like Capcom's doing right here, but he gets down by by Jay and gets killed. Riddle then picking off Jay, and now it's a trade-off, but the diffuser did get planted. Thermite took the bullets, easily picks up 2 kills onto Beastly and Carnage. The last guy alive is going to be Sledge for the attackers coming at the top of those main stairs. And it is Riddle, who is the last defender with minute health. And right now, he's trying to pick up his teammate easily. And we're going to see if it works out for him. 2-on-1 here with about half of the defuse time remaining. Easily gets picked off with a headshot. It's going to be Valkyrie 1-on-1 here. Coming up behind Sledge, trying to chase him. And Riddle does not get it, and it's going to be Digital taking home the win for his team there. Getting at least a double, if not a triple or quad kill there. There's at least 3 kills. Picking up that first kill, and then this onto Jaeger. Getting Rook and Valkyrie right there at the end. So great job by Sledge.
Digital covering the right spots, knowing how to keep his distance between him and that shotgun. Baiting Valkyrie up there, not being overly aggressive, overly panicked, just waiting for these players. He knows they're going to have to come out for him. He knows he's got to reveal themselves. They've got to come for the diffuser. Once that plant is down, the game is in his hands. He kept a cool head about it. Time now for them to switch it up and go down into the basement. For a defense of their own, they have not brought a Mute to the table. Instead, they're bringing Pulse here, but otherwise keeping a matching set.
Yeah, and Capcom's moving up here to the meeting hall to reinforce those drop hatches as almost is always necessary for a bottom bomb site hold. And I'm curious if he's going to have his devices in the same location that Onslaught decided to select them and place them in, which was on those meeting hall doors. I'm not quite sure where that third Capcom trap was. Could have been down towards the basement in case they made a back push. But we do see Hopes here putting them on those main entry points into the meeting hall. So my only assumption is that there are going to be a couple lurkers inside the meeting hall, if not the top, or potentially upstairs in the bedrooms. So again, one more Capcom trap on the back door here as Capcom retreats downstairs.
He's down to join his squad, who are doing a far more standardized 5-man defense in the basement. Sitting on site, waiting for the Onslaught to come their way.
He's going to have to pick up his armor just as the attack phase begins. And what we're looking at here is a 5-man on-site defense, typical of what you'll see on an Oregon map here. You might see some lurkers every now and again, but for the most part, it's easy to drone them out, easy to corner them, so they do play a 5-man on-site defense.
So it's right and Bob with some attackers as Animal is already droning the lobby. They've got the doors cracked open and are looking their way through and in. Just making sure there's no one on the floors above. Riddle is clearing it from the back end with his face, and Thatcher to help him out, while the drone is coming from the front end, cleaning through armory in the master bedroom. And they will make their way down the front staircase after making this hole in the top.
Yeah, and what I like seeing about that droning and that clearing of the top floor that we just witnessed was the fact that the attackers, you saw Ash and Thatcher up top, they were closely behind those drones. So the drones were going into a room, clearing it out. If it wasn't clear, the attackers right there were ready to react to the callouts that the drones are making. So having that ability, being close, having that communication, that coordination is going to be key to be played out here later on in the round. Now it looks like Jade got flashed out there by that flashbang Thermite threw down, but he's going to recover before any push happens.
Down the stairs they head after that trapdoor's broken off. Riddle got a lot of space to move thanks to the lack of barbed wire on this staircase. Does a crack open piece right at the bottom, and then we'll head back up to cover from above. The man with the diffuser is making his way down. It's easily. He's got Blackbeard there to cover him on the staircase, and then he can dash on in to get towards that side himself. Animal using those Capital bolts to get one kill. He's got a second bolt and some grenades, which he will be able to throw here into the little laundry closet. He's going to roll straight underneath Valkyrie. She's going to get downed and burnt out. 2 kills, 2 crossbow bolts. Power of Capital. Blackbeard then on the staircase kills the man pushing forward into the corridor. You do get a down and a C4 onto the Thermite, but Ash is easily in there. Sorry, Animal's in there afterwards to pick it up and immediately begin the plan once more. Capcan and Pulse still on here, looking for the push forward to try and stop it, but the plant's already going. Beard is taken out on the stairs. Up and above the trapdoor is still 2 players in the form of Ash and in Thatcher. He's going to try and track them. Beastly's got that heartbeat sensor to find 2, so he's one above either, one still in the plant spot. Goes for the pre-fire, but he's down low. Didn't quite realize where that heartbeat was, thought he was down for the flank. Thatcher was watching.
Yeah, Capcom made a late flank there, especially after that diffuser gets planted. You know, only 1 person, 2 people need to watch that front door, the front entrance point, and then you just had to believe it was Thatcher looking through meeting hall, covering the flank like he needed to. So we get underway into round 3, each team taking the first round for themselves on defense, or for attack. And OS is going to try that laundry room and supply room again. Hopefully play a little bit better defense than we saw in the first round, but we do know that once that drop hatch gets opened, it's a lot harder to hold that front laundry room.
Yeah, especially nowadays against Capcan, that's exactly why. And, well, he saw the power that he has, not Capcom, Capital. Saw the power that he has with that crossbow bolt, and the C4, with the grenades coming out too, because the Jaeger systems are not quite in the right place. So, we'll see if they can set theirs up in any better places here, OS. But they still have their same 5 operators, putting their Capcan traps in the same places, setting up to see if they can set that defense, set that opening play in a better way than they did before. They had a right idea, they had a good plan earlier, but Digital kind of put a stop to it. Some very aggressive play.
And here we go. Attack phase is going to begin. Capcom laying down a little bit late reinforcements, but he's going to rotate back in time with 1 trap left in hand. He's going to place on one of these doors here after he reinforces them. So we also don't see a castle here, which sometimes we do see a castle of barricading off those back doors. A lot makes it a lot more difficult for the attackers to push from back there, especially if they don't have a sledge, which, unfortunately for the attackers, they do have. But nonetheless, there is no castle. 2.5 minutes left to go, and Jaeger is lurking up top here. So we're going to spot him, see where he's at, and he does get droned out by the kitchen and back stairs, and it looks as though we might have an engagement here as he runs out of shower, runs into dining, and potentially gets spotted again on the other side of the wall from Ash. Now, if he moves any more, he's going to make enough noise that Ash is just going to come up from behind, blow open the wall, and it's going to be a dead Jaeger potentially. But Hopes is going to drone him out along with Carnage, and that's going to be a double drone for him.
Takes another one and darts into the kitchen. Ash is still droning for herself, and we'll give the info that he is heading this way. Trapdoor above his head is being killed out by a man up there, and he's heading back straight into her, and she will take that with ease. There you go. Deal with the roamer. Herd him in, herd him around, pin him towards a burying different teammates, and make him sprint back into the unknown. And yeah, you don't run roamers on this map anymore, ladies and gentlemen.
And that's some of that awesome droning we were just talking about, some of that great communication and that great angle holding. So that's exactly what we're going to expect from a Pro League team. Now, Sledge is still up top. Looks as though he might just be clearing out some more of the top floor because it doesn't, not quite sure there's going to have any drones there. But Hopes is just finishing droning out the back. Now he's droning out Red Tower, just making sure that, hey, there's not another lurker. And now he can't really get his drone up there unless he's going to take the time to try to climb the ladder. But fortunately, he is just going to place it back there for the rest of his team once they die, potentially, to watch it for him.
They have just the one C4 left in Capcan's hands here. So should the planter get downstairs and on top of that laundry closet spot, the washing machine, whatever it is you want to call it, it's going to be a bit tough to shake him out of there without sprinting down to try and attack. So let's see how they plan to deal with it this time around, as the barbed wire is cleared off once more by Beastly. He's got one flashbang left that he can throw into that corridor, but he's going to go straight into the site. It now becomes all onto Capcan. Ooh, if he hears the plant. Goes pretty far into the corridor. There it is. Capcan comes around the corner. The very aggressive play with his C4. There's far safer ways to do that, and he loses his life putting it down. That means the plant's going to go through. The 3 players left up downstairs. Going to have to push now against 5 attackers that are left upstairs. How easily he has managed to prone that far, I don't know, but it will not last any longer. He gets taken out. Riddle has picked up 1 kill downstairs in the back. He's now going to try and flank through Meeting, but with this shotgun, as soon as he heads around this corner, someone's going to have their gun trained on him. No, they're not. What are you doing? He's being allowed to get a lot closer than he should do.
And there's going to be the peek from the stairs.
There we go. Not got the range to deal with any of that anymore. Not since the changes to the Spaz 12. Has to back down into towards Meeting. Drops through the floor. Coming down through the laundry closet. And there's the man watching from above. No angles of movement at all.
Yeah, and when it's 4 against 1 and you're on this map, you've practiced it multiple times, you're going to know what angles they're going to come from. You're going to know what angles you need to hold. I really liked the top of the stairs push there to get to watch Valkyrie come from the meeting hall. Now, typically what you'll see is you'll see someone inside a meeting hall watching that flank because, like you said, Valkyrie got a little bit too close for comfort, but luckily the rest of the attack team was far enough away that it didn't cause too much trouble, and Valkyrie was forced to retreat back down the drop hole, and ultimately into laundry, where she met her fate. So as we get underway here in round 4, it will be Onslaught only getting 1 win. And we're going to have 3 sub taking the lead with 2. And it looks as though bomb sites will be in the basement once again. And let's see here. So we've got Capcom, who's actually looks as though he rotated over to kitchen to play some traps. Now, this could be key if they're going to have lurkers inside of the kitchen, inside of the top floor, just similar to what they had in the meeting hall last time. Now, fortunately for the attackers, they droned it out, realized that, hey, we didn't need that. Or, I'm sorry, we spotted them. We don't need to go in that way. We'll wait for the attackers to come to, or the defense to come to us. But here in some different locations, without droning, it might be proving to be a little tricky for the attackers.
So, he is trying to stay upstairs, despite the fact that they just took out that roamer as best he could. They're now going to try and take him down too, and he thinks he can do a better job at it. But we'll see whether that's the case or not. The drones are coming. Ash is closing in on all sides as well.
So we have a double lurk here again. Only 3 men on site. Valkyrie's going to be in the top floor, and Jay is going to be inside a kitchen here. And he does get droned out, so that's going to be a call out for the attackers. And now it's just the drone trying to play a little fizzle with him. And Jay is now a little bit freaked out. We've got him stuck in here in closet. A couple bullets go in, and Ash does get him down. And that's going to be a dead Jaeger here right at the start of the round. Great droning from Onslaught.
It's exactly what we just saw 3-Sub do against Onslaught in themselves.
Yeah.
Why do you think you could pull it off any better? It's not exactly a particularly skilled technique anymore. It's very, very simple to do. And despite the fact that Riddle almost threw his life away there by checking up.
Yeah, the bottom of his holograph, or the bottom of his scope almost hid Valkyrie from sight, but it looks as though he did see it, and Digital was able to pick up the kill onto Thatcher, rotates downstairs, and to try and come up for another flank here as Ash pushes up towards the main stairs to try to see if she can pick off Valkyrie.
Digital trying to rotate his way back down. He's actually going to get into the classroom now. They didn't drone him properly this time around, so he's going to get one man down and gets away with his life still intact. He's got a lot of health on him. Now there's a pulse pushing through Meeting Hall too. With the longer this takes them to find this man, they're going to get flanked from another angle. C4's going to come out to the backside of Blackbeard. Thermite's now there in the lobby. Let's go drop shot and survives it. But he is taking a little bit of punishment, and with 3 people dead, it's now back to a 2v2. So okay, these Romans have picked up 3 kills, but you've also lost all 3 of them in the process. Now with the 2v2, still having the Thermite and the Capital left alive, arguably these are the 2 strongest operators when it comes to getting through this trapdoor and down into the basement. So what have you really gained?
Yeah, before the Capital entry in Skull Rain, I would have said Thermite and Blackbeard, but I mean, I'd pick Capital over Blackbeard on this map any day. I think he's very useful and very strong. So we dwindle down to the last 45 seconds of the round. Capital's going to watch through that drop hatch as Thermite tries to get the rest of the barbed wire before he moves in for that final plant. We've got Capcom and Rook just playing it safe right in the laundry room and inside of that main hallway. And those incendiary arrows go out. It's going to stop Capcom just a little bit from peeking, but Rook will potentially reach out here. Does turn around, gets the shot onto Thermite, and Capital had not gotten the kill in time, but Carnage picks up both kills, and that's going to be the round for 3-Sub. 3-1, 3-Sub over Onslaught at the moment here.
3-Sub do manage to get that defense in hold, thanks to the fact that Capital couldn't catch that Rook sprinting across the basement through that trapdoor to stop the planter. So it all works out in the end for 3-Sub. But it's a risky, risky play when you're playing that many men on the floor above. They made it work due to a nice clutch play at the end there from Carnage, but that's a lot of pressure to put on a man's shoulders.
Definitely, definitely. And we see Laundry Room being chosen again, which, wasn't there a successful Laundry Room hold, or did they change it up?
Successful Laundry Room holds on this game? No. It has happened in the past, but that was the last one we just saw.
Gotcha.
Yep,
now that makes sense. So Onslaught is going to try it again after their second failed attempt down here. This is going to be their 3rd attempt on the basement floor.
Yeah. So they won their first attack. The only team to successfully hold this was 3-Sub in that last round. Onslaught think they've got another idea up their sleeve, think they've got another plan, but honestly, if they keep trying to sprint out and shoot the planter every time, it's not going to work. Make a hole in the little stock closet and throw your C4 at it. It's the only way you're going to stop that without just sticking your head in a spray of gunfire.
Yeah, and it's especially going to be a little bit difficult now. Now that they don't have a smoke, they've traded out Capcom for Rook, or I mean for Doc, and they've also picked up a Valkyrie to get some of those great intel cams. But that's basically a trade of 2 C4 for 1. So you're picking up Doc, but you're giving away Capcom, who also had C4 and a couple good traps if they were placed correctly.
So, once again, Animal is staying upstairs after placing his last couple of mute charges in. Jaeger is up here with him like before. You've also got Valkyrie running around on the technically this floor, but she's in the back tower, and it's far easier for her to rotate down to safety, but she is covering the retreat for these guys here by being in that spot.
Yeah, and you saw mute places jammers inside a meeting hall, and that's just mainly to prevent from being spotted by the drones, which they have been spotted almost every time. So hopefully this is going to slow down those drones, but in the same sense, those devices are going to prove to the attackers that, hey, there's someone in here, we just don't know exactly where, so we're going to hold the soft angles and wait for the defense to try to flank us and come for us. But Sledge was clearing out the top of that, top of the main stairs there. It looks as though he still might be up there looking down the stairs, seeing if there might be a Doc or a Rook or a Valkyrie trying to poke up through the bottom of those stairs. And not going to see anyone. We can kind of see what's down there, and we don't see anything. Hopes is over here in classroom, just holding an angle. And Jay is going to pre-fire that doorway just as Animal tries to peek it, and Capital will pay the price for re-peeking that as Animal picks up the shot onto his head. And that's going to be Mew getting the first kill of this round.
So the pre-fire there to stop him peeking out and shooting the thermite trap. Got it done, but Animal takes a little bit of damage in return for killing Capital. But killing Capital, we've already seen how important that is because of how much damage he can do down through that trapdoor hole. Animal also manages to stay here in the meeting and alive, so when it comes to retaking, there's a very real possibility he can be used for that.
Yeah, and we've got Jaeger, who's still in the meeting hall. Looks as though, actually, he might have come back. We do see Mutant Jaeger still up there.
There we go.
Riddle is now opening up more of that floor. He's going to throw that C4, blows it up, and doesn't hit anyone. Barely misses Riddle. And now he's going to rush in with the shotgun. Does pick up 1 kill, picks up 2 kills, and Animal's also there to pick up a kill on a Beastly. Carnage is going to get Animal, and Bosco will take the final kill onto Carnage to give the win to the defenders here.
Yeah, but allowing those 2 roamers to stay in meeting hall works out terribly for the attacking team. Onslaught managing to successful hold now because those guys are stuck in there. The C4 going off way too soon. It would have been perfect if the man was actually planting, but you gotta wait to hear that noise. As it was, it didn't matter anyway. There was so much carnage going on upstairs with the 2 roamers pushing in from meeting that the guys up top couldn't even look down through that trapdoor to stop the pushes coming forward, and that shotgun just tore through everyone at the base of the stairs.
Yeah, so that's gonna be Onslaught's 3rd failed attempt at holding that bottom bomb site. So hopefully they can get this attack win, tie it up to be 3-3.
They just held it.
They did just hold it? They did hold it. I don't know what I'm thinking there.
The double roam.
They did get the win there.
The fact that the 3-sub allowed their roamers to stay alive means they successfully held. So 3 rounds to 2 as J-Sub now head up into the Dorms Hall bomb site. So they're upstairs. So it's a little bit different. It's a far more mobile bomb site for the defending team, which is what 3-sub, to be fair, have just shown they can actually do pretty well if Jay is allowed to run around and run free. Maybe a little bit of Digital in there too with his shotgun. So we'll see whether or not they can make that work here too. Digital is in the back tower for throwing cameras, I believe, because they're reinforcing the attic from the other side.
I think what he's doing, he's pre-opening up some of the windows here so that when it comes later in the game, if someone is able to manage their way down into the basement, come up to the red tower, they're able to peek through the windows towards that A bomb site and towards the kitchen and dining area without actually needing to alert the attackers. It's a typical tactic that's used often to pre-break something, let the attackers feel comfortable, get used to it, and then when your timing's right as a defender, you peek out through it, you get the kill without even making a single noise. So that's kind of my anticipation for what we're going to see here. But at the moment, it looks as though Capital is going to take a shotgun to the chest, down to about 50 health after that. He'll drop back down and rotate around and find another way up here.
So, a couple of drones taken out nice and easy.
And we see Frost in the closet of the main master bedroom. Either that or she's in the middle bunk area. We'll have to see that in just a moment. But Digital's here, just sitting close, waiting to see if anyone's going to come into armor or up those top stairs. Right now, I think what she's waiting for is just any kind of drones. And we do see Easily droning up here. Barely misses Digital's as she continues on to drone.
It's pinned in this corridor as the entire Onslaught push is coming from the armory end of the site. Looking control of this end. Now, if they come too far, Jaeger's in the attic and we'll be able to fire on them from the side on. So they need to be able to shift him out of there and somehow get Thermite into the master bedroom to blow into that walk-in wardrobe. That's another very important spot they need to get control of. Holes into the room below here made by the defending team. Looked up through momentarily by Ash and bang, just like that. Somewhere Digital gets down from. I believe it's in the, yeah, up through the floor. Digital gets taken down. Sledge picks up a kill onto Jay as he is creeping in through the master bedroom and the walls behind it. Inside the attic, they've taken down that Jaeger and they've taken down the Rook in the other bomb site. Digital goes to the back stairs, gets a kill onto that pushing Ash, but Thermite's got himself into the walk-in wardrobe and now they've cracked open into the small door. Frost will push in after the hole being made, takes the Thermite out. A little bit messy getting in here now from OS, but they're starting to have more information on where the defenders are. And with 2 of them being shotguns, if they can use their range to their advantage, they might just be able to make this work. Hope's still in that walk-in wardrobe, picking on through towards the hole and towards the master bedroom. Beastly's inside Kids, and Digital has now started to rotate down and around underneath.
And this is where Animal comes in from the back master bedroom, but it looks like Hopes is going to pick him up. Beastly picks up the kill onto Bosco, and now Low, who's playing Buck, moves in, but Frost will get the kill onto Low, and that's going to be a win here for 3-Sup.
He had the right idea. He pre-aimed the corner. He knew she was going to peek out from there, but he didn't have the time to hold that aim, and she gets out just as he unscopes and is ready pushing forward. So even switching over to his little shotgun at the last second is enough to shut her down. They all went very low, but the very well-timed push for 3-Sup, all peeking out from their little spots at the same time, down on like the 30 seconds mark, decimated the push coming their way from OS, who were expecting them to just stay in, expecting them to stay passive, expecting them to just let the clock try and burn down, and it caught them off guard. Now they're on to match point, and well, it is Onslaught's turn to defend that same location, but it is do or die.
And that's your right. They will need to maintain this if they want to try to get at least 1 point here today. So again, this is the first matchup. If they lose this, they can still obtain a point, but they will be unable to obtain 3 points for today's matchup. However, 3-Sup has proven to be quite a force to be reckoned with, winning the first matchup here last week. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see 3-Sup take both matches here today as well.
So 10 seconds left on their prep time. They brought themselves a bandit to help seal off this walk-in wardrobe. Riddle is cracking open a couple of doors and looking for these cameras to go on outside. Got to be very quick with this junkyard one because the spawn is very close. Even if they don't see him, they may have seen the camera go down and could kill it off pretty rapidly if he's not careful. Beastly is that man. You can see he's already looking towards that tower.
Yeah, I do like that attempt to throw that up there. I don't think I've seen that in the past, but
we've had a few people put cameras onto there, but it's a speed thing, and it started to become predictable now. You're gonna be known for it. You're gonna be looked for, and I don't think Beastly gave it a proper search, so it may still be there unless someone else killed it off. Yeah, it's still there, but it's one of those things that you gotta be cautious of these days.
Yeah, it does give a great overview of that window that Riddle just blew open. So we're gonna see that quick here again. Look at the beautiful sight that this gives. This is the entire south side of the map, as well as that connector roof right above the showers and the bathroom and the dining hall. So a lot of great intel just from that single cam. That's going to allow Riddle to pay more attention to the A bomb site here. I'm sorry, the B bomb site. Another cam goes out, but that instantly gets destroyed. And we dwindle down here to the last half of the round. Still not too much action, a little bit of prep going on for the attackers, setting up their strategy. A couple drones going in, grabbing some great intel. And they know that Valkyrie's over here inside of the A-bomb site. Now, Bosco, I'm not quite sure he's been spotted out yet, but he was attacked a little bit. J-Sup looks as though he's going to hold an angle down and onto him. So Bosco's going to try to hit that window, and that's going to alert Jay that, hey, there's about to be someone here. He's going to start looking for another angle. Bosco's peeking up at the same time. This is going to come down to who's got the quicker reaction, who's got the better line of sight, and who's got the better aiming. So Bosco's just waiting, peeks his head just a little bit, pre-fires that corner, gives Jay a little love tap, but backs off and says, you know what, time to come back. Now Valkyrie does get down, but picked right back up by Doc's gun.
Doc downed him, so it's Doc for the refresh. Bosco's been killed off in the back tower by Jay. Now that they've refreshed Riddle, he picked up 1 kill, they refreshed him, and he's back now fresh on his feet in this 4v4. There's not a lot of health here on the Kappa tower after he picked up that kill, but he's got a good angle across into the kid's bedroom from this back tower. Digital is up on the window, and with 45 seconds off the clock, they're going to have to make a push in soon. So let's see if he can make it through.
Yeah, it's kind of a little odd for me seeing that Onslaught would not put someone inside of that kid's room, but Lau will pick up the kill onto Jay. That's a dead Capital there. 30 seconds remaining, 4 on 3, and that's going to be Beastly taking the shot, and it's also going to be Animal trading off with Digital. So Beastly picks up the kill onto Riddle, and that's going to be Ash getting downed and killed by Animal again. 3 on 1, 15 seconds remaining, and Twitch will get killed by Lau, and that's going to be Onslaught trying to come back 4-3 right now with Onslaught winning that round.
It's all very well being that slow on your attack, 3-Sup, but when you do take your time like that, you've got to know exactly where their positions are, you've got to know exactly what they're going to do when you make your move, and you've got to be ready for it. They weren't. They went in to try to go into the kid's bedroom, which they knew admittedly was clear, but they completely neglected to notice the fact that the attic was open and there was going to be a man going into there to shoot the repellers. And he picks up 2 very easy free kills from that location, and he's the same man that pushing across from the big tower past the attic window is then picked off from within the small dorms. All of those situations are places that you should have known about and should have been ready for after taking all that time to make your push. So what were you doing for those 3 minutes?
It's hard to say. Hard to say. Like you said, some better drone placements, some better information from the attackers would have potentially turned that around. If you have one person rappelling on the north side of the windows of B bomb site trying to get in, you need someone else watching that meeting hall window, and they didn't, and they paid the price for it.
So back down into the basement, go 3-sub. They've held this once before, but ultimately neither team has had the most success doing it.
And we are going to see Jay getting droned out here. Drone will get destroyed by the individual inside a meeting hall. So as the attack phase begins, we still see a little bit late reinforcements happening, but still only 2 defenders down on site.
Jay is going to go for the upstairs spot again. Digital is still putting cameras on the top floor and hopes while he was up there is now heading down the back stairs. He was just putting some aggressive cameras, Capcan traps on the back tower. Jay hiding in armory now. He's a bit further upstairs than he ever has been before, so we'll see if the drones reach this far. There is one. Does get killed off, but it may have also spotted the Capcan trap in there, so Jay gonna run away from it and see if he can punish anyone coming that way. Firing down towards the staircase at the back. Ash is right there, but she's holding it at such a spot that he's actually already firing straight past her legs. She's watching the angle, seeing if Jay's gonna push. He also knows there's a man in the the kid's bedroom.
I was just about to say, I hope she sees that Capcom trap, so she's gonna actually give up that angle. Now, what I would have expected is that's a key corridor to hold. I would expect her to stay up there and hold on to that angle while the rest of her team tries to get around that. But just a little pixel pre-fires through the wall and picks him up, and Riddle will also get down by Digital. So that's going to be a trade-off there with Valkyrie knocking him out.
Yeah, smart play from Digital, aggressively pushing onto that Ash after he pre-fired that corner so far. So let's see whether or not he can do anything more. Goes for the C4 towards Master way too early. No one even remotely close to making that push through.
But we do see it looks as though it might be Capitao or Thatcher trying to come up those back stairs. However, Digital gave his position away by laying that one fire down towards the front of the kitchen. So I'm not quite sure if someone's going to try to drop from that bedroom where we saw Digital. But Digital will get stunned and potentially downed, and it's going to be Bosco taking off that kill onto Digital.
So got rid of that roamer finally as he tried to be a bit too aggressive, too fast. Didn't have to come in that soon, just had to fall back and wait for when that push downstairs came or when that plant may already be down. Something for the retake. We saw how successful that can be in the past. Now these 3 men downstairs have got to defend against this trapdoor push, which we've seen time and time again does not go well for the men downstairs. There is still no C4 in Capcan's hand. There is one in Pulse's, but there's no hole for him to really throw it to with too much ease. Capitao puts a bolt into that corner just as Rook leaps into there, and he's somehow just about surviving it. Pulse is now very, very cautious. This hole has been fired from above. He's trying to look his way in. Capitao's bolt will finally kill the Rook in the corner, but Beastly's pre-fire takes down the diffuser as well. This is looking a bit better for 3-sub.
Beastly comes in for the
smoke.
push.
Wow!
A
Straight
triple
through
kill.
the smoke. The man from up above, Capitao, can't even see him pushing through to his own smoke grenades. And that allows him to decimate OS on this staircase. All 3 of them not prepared, not ready. And now Animal's got to undo all of his errors by getting this kill. And he can't do it. That's it. That's map. That's 3-sub. 5 rounds to 3. Taking map number 1. All because of a classic oversight. Not paying attention to your own smoke. Yeah, okay, it blocks their vision of you, but it blocks your vision of them.
And so I think that highlights the key difference between choosing a 1-speed operator and a 3-speed operator. We saw Capcom try to do that exact same push when he didn't have C4, even when he had C4. Tried making that exact same push, but him being as slow as a rhinoceros isn't going to work out as well. So we saw Pulse there running like a cheetah, got the win, and got all 3 kills.
Yeah, very nicely done. Very aggressive play at the end there to make that finally work. We're going to switch this over to our next map of the night, though, Clubhouse. Prepping it up and ready for the teams to swap over. We'll look over and watch through some highlights very quickly while that comes on through, but there were some very nice moments from a couple of different players. Some of these lurkers picking up some very nice shots. The new nerfed shotgun, but still making it work. Some Jaeger plays from Jay in the meeting hall. Teams trying different ways to either deal with, or in some cases just not deal with roamers. Just let them be and try and
here's that great play by Digital, getting 1 and then tries to get a second, but unfortunately didn't. He was down by Thermite there in that position, and that's Carnage picking up that double kill there. And there is the nice quick peek by Animal. And here's Riddle getting 1 kill, getting 2. And here he is on the other side. So some great plays by all the teams today. And, I mean, we're ready to get underway here in our next map of Clubhouse.
Just about. I believe some of these players want to switch teams because I do think they have to swap sides for their next map. But once they get that done, we can get things underway. But we're going to look over towards Clubhouse. Clubhouse is another map which doesn't do well with roamers anymore. It's very, very easy to drone them out, hurt them out, and cut them off. And then when it comes to that basement defense, you're just short-handed. You need 5 players down there. You need that 5-man defense to deal with all the different angles of threat. So I don't want to see anyone try and run any roamers again. But from their tendencies, that map, I feel like everyone's going to give it a shot.
I feel like they will at least give it a shot their first round. But the fact that we saw Jaeger, I think it was a Jaeger on both sides, just basically fail inside a kitchen. I mean, both times they failed. I feel like their lurking game is a little bit off. So hopefully we're going to see a little bit better lurking, should there be some. But unfortunately, I'm doubtful. So as we get underway, there are 4 bomb sites on this map, 2 upstairs, 1 in the bar and stock room, and then 1 underneath in the basement with that laundry room and, or I'm sorry, the church and the arsenal room, which is going to be that first spot for 3-sub.
Yeah, 3's up is going to drop down into the basement. We've got that castle already that we saw earlier on, so we are going to get them to see themselves locking themselves inside their site, and they are not going to run anyone upstairs on the floors above. They might go for that late room up through maybe the garage or up through somewhere else once they know where the attackers are.
Yep, and we do see Castle getting chosen here, and Castle's kind of worked his way himself back into the meta, and I think that's great to see. It's great to see when an operator doesn't necessarily get nerfed or buffed, and he's still in the meta and still works his way back in from a position where he was powerful in the past, not powerful, and then he's brought back to being very useful.
I don't want to say he's back into the meta just yet. It's 1 bomb site on 1 map.
We've seen him in Canal, we've seen him in Oregon, we've seen him here. I mean, I've seen him in a couple different maps. I'd like to challenge you on that. But no, underway here in the last seconds of the prep phase, we're going to see all defenders on site getting away from that lurking like we talked about earlier.
No, I'll take your challenge on that. You're right. Canal, we've got Canal windows down. We've got back end B bomb sites on Oregon. And yeah, we've got here. Yeah, okay, all right.
I've seen him make an appearance even in Consulate on the top floor there. Like basically getting rid of all of the entry points from admin. I've seen him use there.
We haven't seen Consulate played.
Well, not in the pro. I've seen him in some of the high-level gameplay.
If it's not in the Pro League, in this case Xbox specifically, like that's the better we're talking here. But yeah, he's there on Canal, he's there on Oregon, and he's now here too. So yeah, okay, yeah, he's running his way back in. I take it back.
So underway here, we are going to see much of the attackers work their way into bar after they finish droning out for those non-existent lurkers.
Digital just free places C4 there under the roof of that stairwell. He's going to obviously have a camera up and above. You can see Pulse's the man, sorry, Castle's man sitting on it.
And here he is. Hope, again, just waiting to see if they're going to open that up. Now, I like that usefulness of that castle wall there. Not necessarily to slow them down, but they can use it as information to say, hey, the wall was just blown or it was just torn apart. So now they know that they're there. They're ready to push in. And you're going to see, once that wall gets blown, probably about 3-4 seconds later, that C4 will go off. But it looks as though they were a little bit trigger happy, blew that C4 early there.
Capital grenade. They droned it, they found the C4. And he threw a grenade in at that spot. Or someone grenaded it anyway. Ash maybe. But they found it, they droned it, they got rid of it. And well, they're now looking to push from a different angle. Capital down inside blue, looking to grenade and smoke. Asphyxiating bolt down inside the blue itself. Jay is there. Ash has just dropped on in. She's going to get right on top of him and actually somehow get away with the kill. Riddle starting in and out with their aim, picks up that headshot before Digital will push out to once again trade back onto Jay. That seems to be their partnership. Jay will die and Digital will trade the kill, but elsewhere they've also lost the pulse, so they are still down a man.
And Capital's still at the top of that drop hatch, and we are going to see 3 of the attackers work their way down. They're now at the bottom of those main stairs, potentially ready to push in through that hallway. And Castle down low on health. Valkyrie's still here in the hallway, in the garage hall, just waiting to see if there's going to be another push, and she is ready to pick up that shot onto Animal, and she does see Thermite inside of that motorcycle hallway, and that's going to be a shot for Hopes, but Hopes does not get it off, and it's going to be Bosco picking up the kill as he moves on into Church, and this is where Carnage is going to try to pick up an angle through the hall. Doesn't see him, though, and Digital picks up easily, quite easily, I might say, and now Digital here is underneath of that minibar. Pops in, tries to get smoked, but doesn't work with the range of that new shotty. So Low picks up the kill onto Carnage. Bosco picks up the kill onto Digital.
Very nicely done at the end of that. Digital hid tightly, gets down excellence, but the numbers were just too far in the attacker favor by the end of it. Each time you grabbed a kill, the position was given over, and then there's not a whole lot you can do about it. Screwed down, screwed around, and cut off. There's nowhere you can go when you're behind that little penetrable wooden bar. Roscoe finishes it off. A nice attack then coming out from the OS squad.
Yep, and now they're on to defense in the same location we just saw. However, they're picking up Bandit this time. And I know in the PC meta, we've seen Bandit play on that church wall facing those back main stairs and basically preventing Thermite from trying to open it up. But what we haven't seen yet is a Thermite actually trying to open up that back wall. So I'm not quite sure that it's going to be necessary for Bandit to try to juggle that. Like we said in the past, Bandit juggling isn't necessarily a big tactic here on Xbox. So we'll see how it plays out, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. Upstairs is Easily's castle, taking out, reinforcing the trapdoors before heading on down and starting to seal up the doors the way he goes.
Wires up.
Here he goes. Still all three castle panels ready to be deployed. I'm not quite sure he's going to deploy them just yet. And it looks like he might go to the bottom of these main stairs, reinforce one. And I suspect he's going to get the rest of that motorcycle room, both entry points, because that's going to make it basically a vault if they were deciding to drop down. So we'll see how that plays out. There goes the second one. And Bandit's just going to stick his bandit charges down onto that wall facing those back main stairs.
We follow Animal. He did put those battery charges onto that church wall, as you mentioned, but it wasn't to be juggled like we've seen elsewhere. Riddle still trying to make this hole in through to Blue. Gets there with a couple of extra shots.
And here we go underway. Castle puts down his last reinforcement, and we do have every defensive member here on site, ready for the onslaught that is about to ensue here in the next few minutes. Now, Sledge has made his way into the bar, it appears. Sorry, into the kitchen hall. And now he's ready. Pre-fires the angle. No one there, but he's just playing it safe. Opens up some of the kitchen floor. However, risky that might be because there are individuals under there with C4 ready to blow it up. It looks as though the cave entrance was opened up. However, no attackers pushed in just yet. Looks as though they just opened it up. But Riddle picks up the C4 kill onto Carnage. And that's going to be one dead Blackbeard.
Low is looking to push up into this tunnel. You can hear a man's in here. Hears him trying to sledge the barbed wire and goes for the shot, but cannot make it work. And he does get taken out by Digital himself. So it is back to a 4v4. But meanwhile, Ash has been taken very low in the rest of the site. She is up and above Blue and is now looking to go outside, lick her wounds, and get a reset. We Sledge perhaps that comes out to find her and pick her up off the ground, and she's jumped off this roof. Or she's just going for a safe rotate up and over the bar towards kitchen. Meanwhile, Riddle is looking to hold the construction tunnel now for Digital to push forward. He's of course got that shotgun up right up close.
And here he is, ready to push, just taking a quick angle, seeing if someone's going to pop their head out from behind that armor crate. But a smart defensive location, or smart defender, will not try to peek this angle. So we're going to see how it plays out here. Drones do go on, and it looks like Easily's going to try to fight that. I know I wouldn't with an SMG-11 looking down my throat. So Riddle has the best angle here for the defenders, just waiting for Sledge to try to push up with the shotgun.
Hopes has then been refreshed. He's now smoking in towards Blue. He's going to make a push down there soon.
And here comes the push, but Bosco has already retreated back into church, and now they're just waiting for Hopes to try to make another appearance.
Now the player has dropped on in towards Blue through the trapdoor. It's Jay. He's right up in front, but Easily's going to see him. He's prone right on the other side of the smoke. Meanwhile, Riddle's picked up the kill on the man in construction tunnel, and while Ash tries to edge forward, we do get saved. Easily saved his life as Animal kills him in the back. Animal then peeks on out and gets teamed down, but Riddle's shotgun will finish off Beastly, this time from quite a distance in through church.
I thought for a split second that panic knife actually killed him, but no, it was Bandit coming from behind saving his teammate. But no, nonetheless, great collapse from the defense. Once they realized where the attackers were, they realized there was a push coming from the cave, push coming from Blue Hall, and those were the remaining the remaining attackers. It was just a nice, easy, and simple collapse onto their location.
So as we do see one of the 3-Up players disconnect, we will of course have to back out, remake, and rejoin in just a second. So the score will stand as it is. So it's still a very, very close opening to the way this map is going to be played, the way Clubhouse is. Both these teams now showing some different ideas and different strategies on holding and more importantly attacking this basement. The defenses were very similar in every way, but it is still a comfortable 2-0 lead for Onslaught.
Yeah, and so I liked how you said there was a bit different strategy when attacking. We saw the cave entrance get open and the push from blue, which we've seen, I believe, on Milspec's attempt back in NAPC. But it worked out for him, I believe. But we're going to see potentially some additional strats pop up here in the next few minutes. But as you said, we are going to go on a quick break while we get the rest of the teams back into lobby here and continue on our way with the second matchup, or second round here for tonight's matchup.
Yeah, we'll remake it, we'll rehost them, we'll reinvite them. We'll be back in 2 or 3 minutes' time with Onslaught versus 3-Up continued here on Clubhouse. Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen. Onslaught versus 3-Up is going in just a moment. We are remaking the lobby, so you just had a disconnect in the prep phase, but that is a small non-issue. So far, Onslaught are up 2-0 in this map after having lost the first map 5 rounds to 3. So let's see if they can redeem themselves and grab themselves any points out of this matchup.
Yeah.
So far,
this was their choice. This was their pick, so I'm sure they're prepared for it. They've practiced it. And it seems to have shown for the start here. I mean, going 2-0 right off the get-go is a nice way to begin the map. Now, it's going to take a lot more effort, a lot more hard work to try to finish it off because 3-Sub's not going to give it to him easily. But I think it's still doable for both sides.
Oh, definitely. The game is still up in the air. We've seen many a game turn around from a 2-0 start to a 5-2 or 5-3 loss in the end. So still a possibility for 3-Sub to get that done as they're now all in the lobby. We'll find out as they continue. But yes, OS have had a interesting attack round. They got that going. Their defense last time over very nicely rotated from site to site. Digital especially goes from, Riddle especially, goes from holding the construction tunnel for his team, rotating back and around, and ending up getting the winning kill down in blue through church. Like, the guy is everywhere it's needed to be. His team are communicating and giving that info across to each other where they need to be, when they need to be there, well enough to the point that they can rotate quickly without too much hesitation to pick up the kills they're needed.
Yeah, and that attack, like you said, looked a lot, or the attacks in defense looked a lot cleaner from Onslaught on this map than we saw on Oregon.
Yeah.
So, and that's basically why they're 2-0 on this map at the moment. But as we get underway, we are going to spot Castle making an appearance once again, and Pulse and Valkyrie are here. So we do have 2 C4s, Pulse and Valkyrie, and again, if bomb site's on the bottom, which it is still by 3-Sub, you can bet there's going to be 1 C4 placed on some ceiling eventually ready to blow someone up.
Yeah, Digital did it last time, but it was seen by a drone and was killed off early on. See if he tries the same spot or maybe a different one again, or even if he just doesn't try it at all as the game tries to continue.
Now, I like that cam that we just saw Digital throw up there on the lights of that pool table. I haven't seen one there before, and hopefully it's going to prove to stand the test of time here as the round gets underway. And there is no Thatcher, no IQ, so it's all going to have to be done with eyesights if they want to destroy that camera.
Yeah, there's a lot of places you can hide cameras in that room, and it takes a long time to search it all properly to find it, providing it's not currently active and bright blue. So we'll see how well the 3-Sub guys use it, and whether or not they can keep it secret.
Yeah, so again, we're going to see some murder holes entered into the long hallway here down the main corridor, and a couple shots going in at key locations. So this is going to help the defenders that are staying in Arsenal Room, looking in to cover Church or looking in to cover the backstairs hallway, should the attackers get in there, without the defenders needing to force their way through the hallway and into the Church to recover from an attack.
Yeah. Finish is making that crawl hole in towards the basement. We'll throw a camera low. I love these low cameras. Everyone looks up. Everyone says, oh, I've been spotted. Let's look up. Let's look for these cameras. Low cameras go missing, or get unnoticed, sorry, a lot of the time.
Yep.
So we'll see whether that's the case this time or not. It's also just very hard to kill that camera because of how far down blue you've got to come and then turn your back on it to then get shot by another man that might be playing at the end of the corridor or something. So it's just a risk to straight up try and kill that.
Yeah, and so easily popped his drone down from the garage. Animal's already spotting him down there, and now they're just going to call out that one's in blue, in the blue generator room. Now, obviously, you have to make that assumption as an attacker, even if you don't drone him out. But knowing that he's there gives you a little bit more confidence as to where the rest of the defenders are going to be.
So that C4 has been destroyed already once more. The castle barricade that was pushing this door, arguably the reason for its destruction, because they've grenaded every time. So that grenade is then just killing the C4 anyway. So an interesting combination to try and castle barricade and then C4 it, but hey-ho.
Yeah, and this is what I like to see from the defensive team. They're not trying to go for the long peaks and fight the attackers at the bottom of that main hall. Now, typically what you'll see is a Blackbeard down there, but unfortunately for the attackers, they decided not to choose him. Digital does get spotted there in Church. Not quite sure Jaeger did, though.
No, I think he might just dodge through the Jaeger. They know of the shotgun, but nothing more. A pistol kill comes out onto Hopes after he was downed inside blue. So we'll see whether or not they can continue their pressure that way as Ash has now dropped straight into blue. Tries to run into the Church, but Digital's waiting there with his shotgun. But Jay has revealed himself on the backside of the bomb. Does only get down, but then will be finished off before Digital is finished from the man dropping in Church. Bosco now pushing forward, looking for this down player inside. Will find him and finish him off, but doesn't have the diffuser. Meanwhile, it's 2v2. Buck still standing here at the front corridor, is looking to cover the cross, but has to go and get the diffuser. Now Bosco's looking for the man that's gone in towards blue. It's Carnage, and he gets a good shot. Pulse is left, but he's low HP. Beastly is watching the cross in towards Church. Knows the diffuser is in Memorial, so it's gone and been picked up. Lets the planter get inside. Now Beastly has got it all to do. He knows that dig in the corner. He comes around the corner. It's an easy shot for Bosco. And it will be another round on the board for OS.
I was just about to say that's a very tricky or very risky spot for both attackers to sit in, especially if their aim isn't the best, because Sledge or Pulse could come in there, throw one C4 and kill them both with that range in between them. But fortunately for the attackers, they had the great angles, they knew where he was, and you just saw Sledge right there finish him off.
OS up 3-0 now already. It's a strong, strong start. And, well, we thought about how maybe there was a chance of turnaround. Maybe there was a chance that doesn't quite go their way after the redo. But they are still coming out strong with their attack on this map.
Yep, and so now they've moved on up to the bar and stock room. And we see Capcom going already into the stripper hall. Looks as though he's going to kill a couple drones first, make sure they aren't going to spot his devices. But I know just a drone seeing a Capcom knows that, hey, there's probably going to be traps in here, let's be careful. And that's 3 drones down already, all 3 of them trying to push into Stripper, get some early information. But at the cost of a drone this early on in the prep phase, it's got to be devastating to the information that the attackers want to receive.
Yeah, we'll see. Luckily, this is a bomb site that doesn't really have too much variation in how you defend it, other than how deep you go into the Stripper. Now, they will already be able to tell the minute they spawn how deep into the Stripper the defending team are. And, well, the fact they only saw Capcan inside there and no one else should also give them an inclination to how deep they went. So they shouldn't be too worried about what's coming their way. They should just be worried about the existence of those Capcan traps you talked about.
So we see that one ADS there from Jaeger in a typical spot to prevent any nades from hopping over that brick wall of the pool table. We did see all of the attackers, though, start out towards the Stripper. And so instantly, from our perspective, we can tell that there's going to be a push from Stripper into pool. And now they're just working their way on top, clearing out as much as possible. But it's always up for change, always up for rotating, especially if the attack team realizes that, hey, it's a little heavy here on A site. Let's go over to the B-bomb site and try to make our push from there. A good, agile, strategic team will be able to change up their strategy midway through and still make it effective and still make it work.
So, Jaeger with an aggressive holdout towards the corridor.
And we see Valkyrie working her way up those main stairs above bar. Jay's up there. Right now he's just looking at the hole, not really looking to see if someone's going to be coming up the stairs. But I think he's looking down that hall now, seeing if Valkyrie's going to push up. And Valkyrie has already rotated downstairs, but I hear Bandit might be up somewhere. What's Bandit up to here? We do see him inside a cash room trying to blow the wall into the bedroom up there, but Carnage picks up easily, and that's going to be Capcom getting downed and killed, being the first death here of this round.
Capcom played way too aggressive over there by Strip at this point. He was the one playing closest, the one holding in. All he had to do was wait for the wall to get open and throw a C4 over the top. Instead, he tries to back up, he tries to make a shot, tries to get an angle on this, and gets taken out by the Blackbeard. Meanwhile, Digital picked up a kill upstairs. Riddle, however, has picked up one of his own, but Jay is the kill on the other end of it. Beastly's got the plant down right now in the Stripper wall and over towards Kitchen. Jaeger's going to peek straight out, and Carnage will eat that up every single day. Meanwhile, only Rook and Valkyrie are left standing. Rook has edged his way forwards towards the pool table. Riddle is trying to go up and above, but has already been tagged on his way there. Low tries to sneak up, hopes shoots him in the side. Digital is now cutting off Riddle's path back down the staircase. Everyone knows he's about to drop. Thermite is going to go and claim the kill.
Yeah, and it looks as though Sledge went down those back stairs, but didn't realize Valkyrie had already pushed up. When he went to the bottom of those stairs, he looked towards the kitchen hall. And luckily, Thermite was still paying attention to that drop hatch, because that's eventually where they found Valkyrie.
So, an attack round finally on the board for 3's up. And, well, they made it look pretty easy. The hold that OS had for that one, not really convincing at all. And, well, 3's up and can now go back down into the basement. But
Do they want to?
Yeah, they have not had a good run there at all this game.
Now, what we saw here last week in Xbox, we saw a couple Tachankas make an appearance, opening up the main corridor wall. Do you think it's wiser to use a Tachanka for that, or to just get a shotgun on one of your operators, open up a couple murder holes? I mean,
Yeah, we've already seen Digital do it a couple of times. you don't need the entire wall opened up. You just need a couple of holes here and there at key places. And a shotgun can do that just fine. If you want to make a hole all the way down the thing, you can do that with a shotgun too. It's just going to take more ammo.
Yeah, I think the trade-off between Tachanka and having the shotgun, I'd rather take the shotgun most of the time, just for ease of use and the mobility aspect of it. But Digital again throws that cam on top of the pool table lighting. That's going to be great. Now, I'm not quite sure what Digital's cam is on those back cache stairs are going to be doing too much of, seeing as how the majority of the defense is going to be, or the majority of the attackers are going to be on those main stairs and in the bar. But looks like as though Castle put up his reinforcement a little bit too early. Digital had to tear it down, and that's going to be a little bit, it's going to be one Castle wall back to Castle to reuse elsewhere.
Yeah. Just locked him out. He says, no thanks, I'll go down. They do completely reinforce the church wall then, as the final few rounds are coming on through. The attackers are quickly getting in and making a couple of holes and finding cameras and anything left around upstairs. Riddle being that man in, they've already opened up the blue drop, and now this is something they've very aggressively pushed in the past. But down the front stairs, Bosco's picked up one kill before being traded straight back by Jay. He was very, very low though after getting that first kill, because it was the Valkyrie shotgun he had to deal with, and well, at that kind of range, it still hurts. We've already seen the kind of work that can be done with that so far today.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that shotgun shell did not actually kill him, just knocked him down to about 5-10 health remaining. But ultimately, he did get traded off and killed. Just under 2 minutes left to go, still 4 on 4. And I believe we've got some drop hatches being opened up. We do see, it looks as though it might be Buck inside of the freezer. And Beastly is here, no C4 in hand anymore. Does spot him inside a kitchen.
Keeping track of his movements up here. The trap door not opened up. The C4 was there, but Beastly is just looking to fire through. He doesn't know it's Buck. He thinks it might be a thermite. He's not quite correct this time, but he's still got to be short. Meanwhile, there's a couple of players running around in this kitchen. The push is coming from blue as well, as Hopes gets taken out before Carnage trades him back. Riddle goes down. Still 3v3. There's still movement running around in the kitchen. This time it is... well, it is Capital this time. He's going to shoot to the backside of the church bomb. Make sure no one can hide behind that one. They try and drop in from blue, but he's a little bit early with that asphyxiating bolt.
So here comes the nade, destroys the barbed wire, and we're going to have Thermite and Capital drop here very shortly. 50 seconds remaining on the clock, still 3-3. And this is where, if Thermite had a wall, or had a reinforced, or I'm sorry, had a breach charge, he should have used it on the wall, but unfortunately he already used both of them. The push is going to come in. Capital tries to push in, gets killed by Carnage from the head, and easily is going to have to make that same move. Hopefully not going to find the same fate, but Carnage is behind that diffuser. Lau picks up the first kill onto Beastly, so 2-2 left, 30 seconds remaining. And we're going to get underway here as Buck and Thermite try to push in. Buck pushes in, gets in successfully. Carnage playing a nice soft angle. Moves on up. Jay gets the kill onto Lau and easily picks up onto Carnage. It's a 1-1. Jay's behind the minibar and Thermite will get killed. Jay picking up the final kill. And that's going to be 3-Sub getting their second win today on this round, or on this map.
Finally picking up a successful defense down here. Jay just staying patient, letting Easily use up all of his ammo, making him push him with the pistol and then jumping on him right at the last second. Having the time to reload, having the patience and the clarity of mind to stay down and stay hidden for that, locking themselves inside. Now, if they had that Capital bolt, perhaps on the back of that A-bomb, when they actually pushed through the dropper instead of 20 seconds earlier so it could run down, Rook wouldn't have to hide behind there. Wouldn't have been able to deal with them so much.
Yep.
It's all about the timing and using these abilities in the correct order, and at that point, that Capital asphyxiated bolt was a waste.
Yeah, I mean, Capital shot that, went over to the drop hatch, and then was the one to drop. Like you said, he should have been the one to get Rook out from behind that bomb, have someone else, Thermite or someone else, drop through the hatch, and then push Rook. But unfortunately, it didn't work out for him, and 3-Sub took the win there.
So, Riddle switching things up now, and he's going to be running a Frost, giving Easily the Valkyrie. He's still running the Spaz 12, so they're now going with double shotguns. Don't really feel like that was the issue with their defense. I mean, they had a strong defense before, and I didn't feel like they were lacking an extra shotgun, to be completely honest. So we'll see what it is they have in mind for this. The Frost traps I do kind of like. Similar way that we had the Capcan traps in the past, but Capcan traps are easy to spot and kill out. The Frost traps are being placed closer to the objectives, closer to the actual final pushes, and that's where teams are gonna get caught off guard for being slow and not having the time to really stare at the dark floors with the dark Frost traps. But what do you do with your other shotgun?
See, another thing I like about the frost traps is the psychological meaning behind them. If you get down by a frost trap, your team, the attacking team, now needs to consider, hey, do I take the risk of trying to revive you, where a defender might come around and then get both of us, or do I let you die? Whereas with a Capcom trap, you're just instantly dead. So there's kind of a psychological mess to it that some of the defenders might delve into and say, you know what, we're picking Frost due to this purpose, because now it's making the attackers have one more thing to think about. Do I pick up my attacker or do I don't?
Yeah, so we'll wait and see. But from the placements of the 2 traps he's put down, he's still got one in his hand. They won't even have the chance to try and pick up said person if they get trapped, because they're all right inside the church, right inside by Memorial. And anyone that gets downed in that situation is already good and dead. So, here on the staircase, does see that man sprint across into the kitchen, but can't land the shots he needs to do any damage. And well, the trapdoor is already open in the kitchen. Lowe's legs are being peppered now by Thermo from up and above, but nothing too serious at this range. So he just darts away and tries to fire back up against him, but Lowe dropped down Beastly, despite being a bright red splash of blood come out of his head on my screen. Gets the kill. Riddle with his shotgun in hand. It may be a different one this time, but still gets the kill onto Jay, who's trying to push down the staircase that he knew this man to be at.
That was actually Buck who walked past him before, ran past him. So he finally got to pick up the kill on it. 60 seconds underway here with four attackers remaining and 4 defenders. Now Jaeger is quite low on health, as well as Thermite. But you know what? Riddle's going to push on up, and he will pick up Thermite. And that's going to be a dead Beastly.
Getting away with that should never happen. They already knew he was on the stairs. They should have had some kind of eyes on it. Thermite was even on a drone himself there, let alone the fact he missed his first 2 shots before he even landed one. That should have been enough time to react, but hey-ho. Digital now downstairs picking up a kill of his own. The push is coming in. Riddle going to drop through. Inside blue, they do get killed off while doing a revive. And Jaeger is cleaning house within the bomb sites. A lot of health missing, though, on Bosco and Riddle. Upstairs now, it is just the little sledge above the kitchen dropper. He's going to see Riddle's head missing so many rounds. Even goes through the readapt and does finally finish him off. Digital now in a 1v1 situation against Roscoe. If he wins this, 3-Sup will be back in a 3-3 scoreline, and he does pick it up. Loads of missed rounds from Bosco down the corridor. Digital flicks up a little burst of his own and punishes him.
Yeah, after Digital's little potato aim there at the top of the kitchen, I would have expected a little bit less accuracy from him, but he showed it. Jaeger got the pre-fire, but didn't actually get the kill, and Sledge was able to finish it off. So that's going to make it 3-3 here with 3-Sup. I'm sorry, 4-3. 4-3.
No.
It's a 3-3.
3-Sup, we're down.
3-3. 3-3 right now, and that's going to be the tie here.
Yeah, we're on a tied round. OS back onto attack, once again attacking the bar and the stock room. It's actually the first time that OS will be attacking this location. They've tried to defend it once and failed. That's what began this big comeback train here that 3-Sup are running. But can they hold it better than OS did? How deep will they go into Stripper?
I'm hoping not so deep. I like seeing the defenders stick to a bomb site and not overextend themselves, unless it's been very well practiced, which some teams do put in the effort. Some others just pick up that strategy along the way and don't necessarily practice it. But
yeah, everyone has their own preference. Not everyone likes to go that deep. Some people will just hang out and play a little bit shallower. But it all comes down to...
We're going to have a potential quick peek
go
here
for
from
a spawn
Capcom.
trap and is wildly in the wrong spot. Even being detected for all that time, Riddle doesn't turn around to shoot for him, just keeps sprinting his way. Takes a little bit of damage from Digital there, but again, nothing too serious, and that's a C4 down now for no real gain whatsoever.
Yeah, if anyone were to have done that, I would have expected a 1 or a 3-speed operator, not Mr. Slow Butt Capcom over here. But nonetheless, Digital was the one to try and make that push. Got, like you said, a couple shots onto Ash. Not too devastating for Ash, though. She's still able to manage, still able to be a strong attacker here.
No. The pool table window has been shot open and Lowe is outside it. Digital has got a small angle on it, but it's a Blackbeard, and in that angle it's all shield. So now he's got to be cautious, but he does get up to it, and it does look like the attacking team are going to put a pressure onto the B-bomb side instead. The pool table, despite being open, is not their focus, and they are swarming the garage and the cash room and looking at taking their attention up this end.
Yeah, and this is where that good in-game, real-time analysis is going to come in handy for their in-game leader, is realizing that, hey, we've opened up the pool table, but let's rotate over, try to get that B bomb site plant. And we can see that that's what they're going to be pushing for. As Low is rotated from that pool window and is now on the back stairs by Kennels. Thermite with Diffuser is going to push on in, and we're going to see potential plant go down, but it is going to be, looks as though Thermite got injured and killed by Carnage. And that's going to be one devastating blow there for the attackers, but it is going to be Riddle picking it up, trying to get the plant down that Thermite could not, and it looks as though he will be successful, and it's going to be Low picking up the kill on the J. 4-4 right now. That Diffuser does get planted, and we have Capital, who's, or I'm sorry, Sledge, who's inside a garage holding the angle, picks up 1 kill. Can he pick up more?
So that hold was there. The smoke weren't quite plumed when Thermite went in, so he got peppered from all angles, but Ash went in late enough. They couldn't see a thing. Gets the plant down, but as the shotguns are now coming in to retake the site, Valkyrie picks up 1 kill. Now they're looking for the Blackbeard. That Desert Eagle is an attempt, but it's not going to land any damage. Low gets another kill, and a quick cleanup from the other two as the 3 sub-players try and push from all angles. OS back in the lead, 4 rounds to 3 now. All they need is 1 more to secure a 1-point each draw.
And so as we said, 3-sub took both maps last week. They've taken 1 so far this week. Let's see if they can close it off here, but it's going to be Onslaught's attack here, or I'm sorry, Onslaught's defense, where they're going to have to hold it here. So Church and Arsenal Room is going to be the bomb site that they decide to pick, and this is going to be one of their better bomb sites that they've been able to hold.
Was earlier on.
Yes.
It started to falter in the last couple of rounds for both squads. So we'll see if they can readjust.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
See if they can hold this out any better.
So underway, we are not going to see a Castle make an appearance, nor a Capcom. It looks like they're going back to the same defense that we saw last time Onslaught was here, picking up the Frost now.
Except Riddle's on the Valkyrie again, and Easley's on the Frost, so they had swapped it back. Riddle was on the Valkyrie all alone before, and Easley was on no shotgun operator. Then Riddle played the Frost and Easley played the Valkyrie last round, and they lost the defense. Now they switched it up to Riddle's back on Valkyrie and Easley's on the Frost. So we'll see whether they have different levels of effect or success with the different shotguns or the different styles of play each operator brings.
Yeah, and I think this goes to the tale of having the strategy behind this, whether or not you have an operator play a location or you have a player play a location. If you say you want your best gunner going down that blue hall covering the generator room, maybe that's not Frost. So maybe it's going to be someone else. Maybe it'll be Valkyrie or who not. Whereas some other teams say, you know what, regardless of who plays Frost, we want Frost inside of that generator room. And so that comes into some of the strategy and gameplay that you're going to have to see here in the Pro League, is deciding who's going to play who and who's going to play where. And I think what we're seeing here is that flip-flop saying Easley's more comfortable on Frost, and we'll see where he's going to play here.
So as the finished setups are in place, the cameras are being checked, and they're looking now for 3-up to start making their push forwards. They've
Carnage is
got
going
a
to
rough
drop.
idea of where these defenders are going to be. They've got used to some of their spots. They've gotten used to some of their defenses, but now with things like Castle gone, things are changing to the point where they've got to be a bit more cautious about their pushes through.
And we see Jay opening up a lot of the kitchen floor there, trying to see if anyone's in the back of Arsenal. And Animal is there. He does get spotted. Hurts Jay down to about 70 health. Not too much, but enough to scare him off. He's going to rotate outside into the construction and work his way around. But here we go. We do have Blackbeard, who did drop downstairs in the garage hallway. He's going to be pushing up there shortly with, I believe it was Ash who was on her way. Now Digital is droning out that Arsenal room, does spot 1, spots 2. And here we go, Jade trying to draw that C4 by sitting on top of that hatch. But fortunately for them, there is no pulse that's going to alert them to it. So he's going to get away with his life.
So just checking for anyone, seeing if it's safe for anyone to possibly come and thermite it. For now it is. Meanwhile, everyone else is just holding patiently downstairs. Riddle hiding from the holes that have been made and is getting ready to throw the C4 up and under the trapdoor.
A bomb has been located.
Just waiting to hear the noise. Meanwhile, Thermite is droning still, so nowhere near all of it. He's already blown the blue dropper. He has no other trapdoor to blow, so sitting there underneath the kitchen is a waste of time at the moment.
And Blackbeard has moved his way down into the generator room, and Beastly's trying to drone it out for his team. He will call out Frost hard left through that reinforcement, and now it's up to Blackbeard, who's going to push in. Beasley's going to drop here in just a bit, most likely. Some smoke grenades go in. Flashbang to himself. That's not very fortunate for Carnage.
Bosco picks up the first kill, takes down Jay, pushing down the front stairs. Looking good for defense, but Digital will answer with one kill of his own. He's coming in from behind. He's already in the armory now. Another kill goes in for the defense as Low picks up one onto BC. That's Blackbeard, but then Low will be taken out. He's downed, but Carnage has picked up an aggressive kill as he pushes forward. Blackbeard down as Bosco is upstairs. There's a kill for Hopes onto the Frost. And suddenly it's all fallen apart for OS. Bosco thinking, you know what, they're not up front. I can get aggressive. I can push forward up these front stairs. Why would you do that? You've just opened up another hole downstairs, which 3-Up have just massively exploited by swarming the armory. And once they get control of that, once they get a Blackbeard inside the armory behind these boxes, he's impenetrable. You're not going to kill it.
Yeah, it's going to be very tough to retake that bomb site once a Blackbeard gets in there. But we saw Jaeger come up those main stairs and go over to kitchen. He was hoping, just praying, that they were able to open up that kitchen drop hatch so he could potentially drop down or peek down in there. But he saw that, saw it was still reinforced, had to rotate back downstairs to his death where Blackbeard was just waiting.
So now that we are technically in overtime, all the bomb sites should be unlocked again. And now, if memory serves, they currently still are, due to the fact that no one has had a successful defense round for quite a while.
Correct,
so they are going to continue playing it out. They are happy to stay here, but it is still 4 rounds to 4. It becomes now down to a best of 3, the remaining rounds on the board. It's going to be a 3-Up defense down in the basement, and OS happy to continue and go for a couple of attack rounds.
Yep, and so no bandit this time, no smoke, picking up the castle and the pulse here. So we typically do see 3-Up choosing the pulse, and fortunately for them, they have chosen it one more time. Still only 2 C4s on their team, Valkyrie and Pulse, but you know what? That's all they're probably going to need to secure the round here. Again, this is the first overtime round, so winner here does not win it all. Although, if 3-Up does come back to win this, we might have to remake the lobby, seeing as how it would be 5-2.
Yeah, that might come through as to be an issue.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser. Attackers must locate and defuse the bomb.
Let's see whether or not 3-Up can force that remake, or if they start to fall apart. Digital on Valkyrie once more, making these holes in towards the long corridor while Carnage seals up the front stairs. The attackers are starting to make their way into the building, but the reinforcements are still being tipped off and finished up. Riddle once again cracks open this hole in the wall to take out the garage camera. The rest of his team look after elsewhere. C4's already gone off in that stairwell. Actually, it was a grenade. It was from Bosco, making sure there's no C4 underneath that stairwell.
Yeah, and we did see those murder holes getting made in that long hall again that Bosco just spotted. And those actually proved to be very useful the last time that 3-Up was down here and successfully held the bomb site. They were able to pick off someone who was coming from the motorcycle room. But Sledge is moving on down here, will open up the wall. And now he rotates back upstairs to the kitchen.
Yeah, he's going to open up the castle barricades and look to make some holes in some floors. Take out a camera or two that he's droned out, and they know is there. As they do drone each step, they're just taking up all the information they see as they go and just dealing with it step by step. That was there. Castle barricade in the kitchen, camera in the kitchen, barricades at the bottom of the stairwell. And then moving on down as the rest of his team are droning elsewhere. 3 people inside church, 2 people inside armory, and a lot of people on 3-Up still being very mobile at the moment. Digital peeks around the corner. Bosco just stopped paying attention for a moment, otherwise that could have been an easy kill. That shotgun would not have done well up against that L85.
Yeah, and so he's just rotating back and forth through the bottom of those main stairs and up to the kitchen. But Carnage picks up the first kill of the round onto Riddle, and that's going to be an Ash that's dead. So now that blue hallway, that blue corridor from Garage is empty of attackers. We see Thermite at the top of that drop hatch that he blew will turn over with Sledge. Again, Sledge rotating back and forth pretty frequently, giving up some angles here as he rotates back and forth. But we're going to see how it plays out here with just 60 seconds left to go in the round. And now Capitão's here.
Capitão's here too, because they're out of grenades. They're going to try and break this barbed wire. It will go off this time over as Bosco guns to pick up the first kill. It's onto Beasley in towards the armory area. He's now pushing down the front corridor, tries to sledge the wall open. Will get it open, but he's shot in the side by Carnage, who peeked out just the right moment. In towards blue, Capitão has dropped and's got away with it, but he gets it down onto Digital inside church. Now Carnage got to cover that corridor, but he turns away just as Bosco peeks around again. Animal now firing in towards the church from blue is doing what he can, but Jay is picking up a kill here, and there is the next kill from Hopes, giving 3-Up the first kill of overtime. and the first round is in the bag. So while this is going to say victory and and game's done, we are going to remake it, and we are going to be back in a moment. So they are 1 round up in overtime here. 3's up after losing the first 3 rounds in the trot, going down 3-0. They brought it back now to being 5-4 and in the lead here going into overtime.
Yeah, that's their first lead of the night here on this map. And we talked about that earlier when it was 2-0, when it was 3-0. We had said we've seen teams come back. Don't count them out. Although Onslaught came on strong, 3-Sub still has the opportunity. They've taken advantage of all the opportunities that Onslaught has presented to them. So again, with their lead, it does turn into a 5-4. We're going to remake the lobby. We'll be right back after a 2-3 minute break here. So stick around, guys.
Actually, we don't need to remake the lobby this time. No, everyone's still here.
Oh, everyone is still here.
Us back to the lobby, so we literally just let them swap back to the correct side. I'll switch the map back to Clubhouse, and we can load it back in just a moment.
Perfect.
One idiot decided to leave, but didn't actually need to, so we can talk a little bit more about it. But we've seen some adjustments to the defense coming out from OS. We've got Frost now in there with them back up. But every time they've tried to bring this Frost in alongside Valkyrie, it's not really been working for them. The traps are a nice idea, but they've never actually been placed in a place to be useful. And the double shotguns just don't seem to be doing the damage they need to get the kills.
I will say that the one time Frost had placed a trap into the generator hall, got down 1, and there was a triple kill that happened in that corridor because they were trying to pick up the individual. But other than that, you're right. They haven't proven to be too useful. So I'm curious to see if maybe a smoke would be useful in this situation for the simple fact that you know the attackers are making pushes, especially through that generator hall. Smoke it off.
Yep,
Grenade, gas it off, slow it down, push them back up the ladder, and there you go. So that's kind of what I'd like to see, knowing that, hey, the attackers are making these strategic pushes, but at the same time, they're kind of expected pushes. So you need something that can stop those pushes and draw them back. Even though it might not last the entire round, you've got 30 seconds of those gas grenades, you're still going to have to be useful with your abilities. And I believe Smokes is one of those useful operators.
Yeah, so just waiting on one last member of Onslaught to reconnect back through. Haven't had word on why or where it is he's gone, but my Discord is going out. No, nothing too important. So we'll see. There it is. Animals back in. Clubhouse. 3's up versus Onslaught. It's currently 1-0 up to 3's up. Not a single bomb site is, of course, locked. This is the first defense round for Onslaught's overtime defense, and they're going to choose, I suspect, the basement, but we'll see if they've got anything hidden up their sleeve as we head back in to continue and finalize this. Remember, 3's up won the first map. They won Oregon 5 rounds to 3. Onslaught need to get this overtime in the bag. The next 2 rounds, they need to win them just to get a single point out of this matchup. Now, they were looking really good for this at the start of the map. They were starting it out with a 3-0 lead, but it's all kind of crumbling away underneath them.
Yeah, and so, again, we're going to see Capcom make an appearance. It looks as though they might be going back to their first defensive round that did end up winning in the basement for them, with Capcom coming out and there not being a Frost. But I'm still not seeing the smoke. Still not seeing the smoke that will slow down that push. So hopefully they've got some other strategies, some other ideas on how to prevent those attack pushes that are surely going to happen towards the end of the round. What I have noticed here from all the attackers is they've been coming through a lot of different corridors, a lot of different entry points. So you had Blue Hall, you had the Generator Hall, you had the cave entrance, you had those back main stairs, the motorcycle room. All of those places, it seems as though the attackers have been constantly coming through each of them, making it very difficult for the defenders to focus on a single location. If you're going to rotate from the generator room into church, you better be wary of that motorcycle room. Yeah. So it's great tactics from the attack side, very strong tactics, but at the same time, it's difficult to defend, but also difficult to counter.
So easily switch himself back to Capcan now. So he's gone and brought the different set of traps in, but he's back to an SMG. He's got some range in it instead of that shotgun. And this is the setup they were running that then had successful attack rounds with. Oh, sorry, defense rounds with. This is what they held this basement with. Every time they switched it afterwards, they started to crumble. So let's see if this is going to stick true and if they can actually hold on and get this round in the back.
Yeah, so here we go. Still 2 armors left for the defensive team to pick up, but Hopes is going to come in from the kitchen entrance and work his way into stock room. Now, he does spot the Capcom trap. Unfortunately for the defensive team, that's going to be 1 less kill that they're going to get. And so Drone goes into bar, drones it out first, and then Hopes is looking for that Capcom trap, moves his way into the bar, will knock out all the rest of the cams, And now he's just taking a peek to see if there are any other Valks. And we see Hopes looking at the lights above pool where we've seen Valk play some cameras before. And now there's no more. So Hopes rotates back over to the garage. And we do see, I believe it was Sledge who was in the bar right now, finishing droning out and getting some more information for their team. Now Hopes is going to hop on his drone and go down the garage hallway. Spot who's going to be down there towards that generator, and it looks as though it's going to be Bosco. So Bosco will most likely get droned out from Hopes in just a few moments after he checks to see if there's going to be any Valkyrie cams, and that's going to be Jaeger getting spotted.
Yeah, they've already broken the trapdoor up and above Blue as well, so that's where he was firing on towards Beastly. But he did not land a single shot, and that's not a surprise. So there is a trophy system down underneath it. So they're going to throw them down and empty that out in a minute, try and clear it through. We've already seen that multiple times. They love to drop on through in here. Want to make sure it's clear for when they do. The question is, can they time it with a push from the front end? In towards the blue corridor is Carnage. They might try and push him through in this angle instead, but right now he's just holding to make sure no one's turning and pushing in the back.
And Sledge has removed himself from the bar and rotated around to the construction cave entrance, and he's gone in. But Animal has picked up a C4 kill onto Jay, and that's going to be Buck getting killed inside a kitchen, it appears.
Yeah, so C4 up through on the floor. We've seen Buck do that a couple of times, shooting through the floor, making those holes opened up, then standing there on the trapdoor and trying to catch an angle on whoever it is holding the C4 underneath. This time he lost that battle and fell down to the explosive, so it's a good start for the defending team.
And we see Blackbeard being prone inside that generator hall. Fortunately for the defenders, though, he's in a very awkward position where his feet were extended in front of his shield. But it looks as though Sledge's going to try to make a push from cave entrance, and Animal is there holding the angle. And Sledge throws a nade in. Riddle gets a C4 kill onto Hopes, and Animal lays down some fire onto Sledge, nicks him a little bit. Thermite down to about 1 or 5 health, very low. And Digital tries to move up, but gets annihilated by Animal, and Beastly picks up the trade onto Bosco. Riddle gets Carnage and easily gets the final kill onto Beastly, and that's going to be Onslaught. Not ready to give up yet. It's going to be a 5-5 with the final round coming up right after here.
That's the trouble with having 1 or 2 forms of threat on this map. The entire push comes from the back site, and so everyone goes, oh, well, we were in church, we were looking at the stairs, we were looking at the dropper, but you're all coming from blue and you're all coming from construction. We just turn around and we can cut you off these 2 doorways you're coming through.
Yep.
Just cut them down as they come in, and it was nice and easy for them. You need to be able to push from the bar dropper successfully, or you need to be able to push from the stairwells. Just something, one person that can start shooting those people in the back. If one man had come down that stairwell and was firing in towards gold, Anna would have been shot in the back. Capcom would have been shot in the back. And it would completely change the way the defense had a hold on that site. As it is, they could all sit there and all 5 of them stay alive and happy at the end of the round, just cutting down the attacking force.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen potentially Buck, instead of being very risky getting inside of the kitchen, I would have preferred seeing him down at the bottom of those main stairs and just opening up the majority of that main hallway. You might be able to hop into there and get in behind the defenders, or at least put down more pressure so they realize someone's coming down those stairs. But once they identified that the push was coming from those 2 entry points in the back, they just turned around, and as you said, they just easily cut off those angles.
Now, though, 3's up are up to the bar upstairs for their next defense. They have, of course, locked up the basement from their first overtime round, and, well, it is this round to decide it all. They've got to hold on to it, or the round will be done.
So as the attack phase begins, it is 5-5. Winner of this round will win the map here. So nade goes in, does hurt Carnage just a little bit, not too much that he's not going to die, but he will rotate out there as Jay stays into the lobby, and another nade comes his way. He's going to rotate out, and now he's inside of the stock room. Carnage looking outside towards the construction entrance, and Riddle appears to be out there, but did not get the peek in time. Low, or it looks as though the Thermite opened up the garage wall. Not peeking it yet. It looks as though easily does have the diffuser, getting on his drone, going to get some information for his team, and that's Bosco spotting out Carnage at the bar entrance point.
So we saw Low pushing in from this side with that Blackbeard to cover the plant last time they attacked this site. And they got in, they planted on B, and they held it firm. There's nothing that 3's up could do about it. Can they do it again, or are 3's up in a better position to try and defend it? Well, right now they're already losing their Valkyrie. She's down very, very low on health and is going to need a reset. That's what just happened there. But Capcan did it on the stairwell. Now the rest of OS are slowly swarming the garage, and the cash room and getting on all angles of the B site, but not ready to go for the plant yet. Droning through kitchen as Animal picks up the first kill for the attacking team, and that's Jaeger down and out. Jay is gone. Kapkan's inside the kitchen, and while they're missing a lot of shots here, Riddle now having that position locked and covered is important. Capitao picking up a second kill. This is looking good for OS. Bosco picks up a third, and the Blackbeard, sorry, not on the Blackbeard, on Thatcher into the site, but hopes will finally return a kill onto Riddle outside kitchen. But with Pulse going down, it's suddenly all onto Kapkan. It's 1v4 to keep his team in this. This is all the points or one of the points, and it is simple as that. Bosco sprints in.